Alright, so here it is, Wednesday, November 2nd, 2022. I'm admitting to being terribly scared of so much, because that is all I am around is fearfulness. And that seems to be when I really look at it, I don't want to believe it, but I know that that's my modus operandi. That's like how I make choices, how I motivate myself. I'm very fear-based. I exercise on a daily basis. I try and go work out on a daily basis. Why? Because I'm afraid of getting fat. I figured it out. I solved all my problems. I am just a big old scaredy cat. That's why I get in my own way. That's why I stay in this delusion of delirium and I don't get anything done, and I am 28 and still live at home. I probably would have moved out by now. I could have moved out by now. I could have lived so many different lives and paths by now, but the fact that losing myself in life scares me more than just letting go and living life. I'm afraid of who I will become. Part of me has this desire to become someone great, but then the other part of me has this what if anxiety about becoming someone I don't want to be, and what if I get lost in it and then people are just disappointed in me, and then I realize, whoa, why wasn't I ever true to myself? And so I feel like by staying home, getting my bachelors, connecting with the people here and now, just trying to be present and calm, live a calm, stress-free life has been what has really resounded with me, what has really made sense to me. And yeah, I still get in my own head and judge myself and think why are you doing this? Why do you want this life? There's so much to live and you're just here, and it takes a lot of perspective, it takes a lot of observation, it takes a lot of confidence in knowing what you want and being able to just say, this is what I want, and that's it, end of discussion, and just make it happen. But I do know that at the same time, there are things and projects and careers and life or jobs and whatnot that I will inevitably get and that I will be happy and proud of that I did. For example, I didn't actually think I would follow through on this quite well, but I invested in getting a prep coach for my bikini competition last year, and I succeeded. I completed it. I changed my body completely, and I learned so much and grew so much during that time. And so I know I'm capable of doing things that I want to do. Just because I'm here living my best Zen life doesn't mean that I'm not dedicated to getting things done. The big overarching thing that I'm focusing on right now is getting my school done, and I'm not piling on 10 million other things on my plate so that I can feel like I'm, getting a lot done. I know that taking on a certain amount of credits, which equals you being a full-time student, means that there's X amount of hours that have to be dedicated to getting your schoolwork done. So I am dedicating as much time as I can to do that, to get that done. Taking on a job right now, which I was given, not offered a job, not an offer paper, but I was promised one because I did this internship in the summertime at the Port of Oakland, and they have constantly reassured me, saying we're getting you on there, we're gonna get you on board. But they've gone through a whole company restructuring, they're expanding right now, there's so much going on, and I feel like I'm just kind of being put on the back burner. Every time I reach out and say, hey, I'm like kind of like skittish about reaching out and like having a huge amount of confidence about like demanding that like I start working ASAP, because I'm not the smartest person in the room in terms of that job, and so I am not in a good place to like barge my way in and like demand that I get on there quicker, but at the same time I gotta show persistence somehow. So anyways, so I've been stressing about that for like weeks now. We're like in week 10 of school, and I could have started by now. Like the other intern teammates that I have in the summertime, 2 out of 3 of them are working, and you know, they're not full-time, but they're back at that job doing whatever they're doing, and for some reason it's taken me 10 plus weeks to get back on there. I don't know why. Like, is it, I really don't know. And I've like told people about the good news, yeah, I'm getting a job, blah blah blah, and now I'm like really unsure, like, am I getting it? Like, should I go look for somewhere else? Like, what's going on? And the person who I've been in contact with has not called me back, and I am terrified. Then I start getting all scared, like, oh man, like what if, you know, I get rejected? What if I'm told I'm not good enough to be at this job? What if like all these what ifs. They're silly, some are silly, some are, you know, decently legit. But either way, it just becomes this whole like knot of discomfort. So yeah, I think that I still have the option then. I mean, if they're gonna have me keep waiting until maybe the end of the year so that they can have me more full-time, then I don't know, maybe I can tell them, sorry, like, you didn't tell me you were gonna wait until the end of the semester to get me full-time. You didn't communicate very well to me, and I can't just read your guys' minds. So maybe I just tell them that, like, sorry, I planned a trip to go to Canada for a couple months. Peace out. I'll see you later. Maybe I'll do that for a little while. I don't know. My bank account's kind of not very happy right now, so it might be nice to work somehow. Yeah, that's a big driver. That's kind of like, yeah, I need to work. But then there's this other part of like, once I do actually get through the hurdle of working, I know myself really well. This is why I can kind of just name off all of these layers. So like, once I even do get working, in the past, like, I have had such a hard time with growing. I've had such a hard time with expanding. Usually when someone gets into a job and they have lots of room to grow, they will start at a certain place, and then they will get promoted, then they'll get promoted, then they'll get, because they just keep doing great. They just keep blowing the minds of their employer or their boss. And so for me, I've either just like gotten a job, plateaued, just been like, meh. The example I have in my mind is the movie theater job I worked way before COVID. I just was like, I'm working the front door, that's it. So I would just show up to my front door position however many times I was available for. Mostly the weekends, I would just spend the weekends working, and then the week going to school, DVC, and yeah, that was it for like 5 years. I did that. I got myself through college that way. Yeah, every job so far, except for maybe my babysitting job way back in the day, turned into like, my ability to like babysit more kids grew, but once I got to I don't know, about like 19 or something. Then my job turned into being a nanny instead of being a babysitter. So I guess that's kind of a promotion right there. But in terms of like gaining experience now while I'm going through this college, I taking my sweet time to learn how to progress and learn how to like get promotions, not demotions, and not be like neutral, not be in a neutral standpoint, not growing at all. So yeah, I would like to make a note on that. Learn how to get promotions. You know, like I don't want to be an ass kisser per se, but like I would like to be told like, hey, you're doing a really great job. I really like what you're doing. And in order to do that, I gotta like tap into my skills. I gotta tap into my, you know, what do I offer? What do I bring to the table in terms of work, in terms of what I like to do? Like, what do I like to do? I know what I like to do, but what do I do in my professional brain? Like, I don't get to explore that very often. I think that right now I'm in a phase of like really wanting to express myself verbally. I do all this listening, all this time. I've been saying this for a little while now. I do all this listening to take it all in, and I'm tired of doing that. Like, I'm ready to just talk. I'm ready to verbally express what I know. So I don't know, maybe the job that I'm trying to get right now or waiting to hear from might not be the job for me. I'm exploring that, and I'm exploring what could be possible, because I know I pay a lot of attention to social media and like how people are working via making YouTube videos, podcasts, interviewing people, being a spokesperson, or just someone that like Mel Robbins, there we go, being like Mel Robbins or Brené Brown, how they like have all this like these specialty topics that they like to talk about, and they're, you know, being paid to go around the world to talk about these things to cultivate a more understanding, more honest society. They've written books, now they get interviewed by people for podcasts and whatnot. So yeah, not that I have a whole lot of life experience, but I understand social connectedness. So I don't know, I got my associates in psychology, might have something to do with it. I love observing people and putting the pieces together in terms of why do we do what we do, and how can we become something greater by observing those who have been great before us. So maybe I am more so needing to be in the psychology field. I don't know, more so than the supply chain field. Yeah, because honestly, like, I just got my business administration degree, bachelor's degree, because I was accepted. I applied to all these other schools for psychology, and this school that I applied for that's really close to me was the only one that accepted me for business administration, not even for psychology. So got my business administration degree. Now the school is very great at like focusing on their programs and getting you in and out with a job, focused in what the program is all about. Their turnover is good in that sense. And yeah, I am realizing that like I don't even know if I want to get into supply chain or international business logistics or even business for that matter. I don't know if I want to get into business. But I certainly have learned a lot. Like, what if I don't? Like, what if I, like, take a complete 180 after this? Oh, God, that scares me so much. Like, oh, that's so much processing I'd have to do. Like, do I commit to this? Is this really it? Like, jeez, my goodness. Do I just stick to what I am sticking to right now? Like, definitely been encouraged to go travel, so maybe it's a no questions asked and I should go work a little bit and then go travel a lot. And then, yeah, that takes such a long damn time. I wonder how I can make more use of my time, not by doing awkward jobs that I don't really want to do and just smiling through it and essentially wasting time, but like, how do I do that? Like, should I join the Peace Corps so I can, get paid to just like live somewhere else? Obviously, you don't get paid to be a part of the Peace Corps, but you get paid a certain amount so that you can live somewhere affordably and not have to worry about paying out of your own pocket for it, which is kind of nice. So then, like, you're free to just do what you were set out to do in that Peace Corps assignment. I mean, it's not the worst thing ever. I am not connected to anything, and I could certainly do that. But that's a whole nother discussion. There is so much going on, I feel like. So yeah, I will be back with more.